Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right?
Very.
So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
What a weekend for the University of Oregon across the board. This was a stellar start to crossover season. We've been saying it's been the introduction of crossover season around here for a while. It felt like this weekend with the start of baseball season, the start of acrobatics and tumbling season, it really is the heart of crossover season here at the University of Oregon. The Ducks, women's golf has not gone final yet. They are still out on the course, but they are currently up by 23 strokes at the Allison John Wallace Women's Golf Classic. 14-1 Oregon has been since Chris Clayton signed off at 2 o'clock here in the 1 o'clock hour on Friday last week to win this moment right now, 14-1. That's not to mention Oregon's women's golf and what is going to be an inevitable runaway victory at the Allison John Wallace Women's Golf Classic, which will make it 15-1. It also doesn't mention that Oregon, 2 players, make it 3 players for the Ducks, are battling at the top of the individual standings of that women's golf tournament with Suvachaya Vinachitham and Kiara Romero with about 3 holes left to play, tied at 11 under, and Karen Suru in 3rd place at 8 under. The Ducks have the top 3 scorers in that event. Across the board, you talk about Oregon basketball getting the win over Rutgers yesterday at Matthew Knight Arena on the men's side. On the women's side, going on the road yesterday and beating Minnesota. Oregon baseball getting a series victory against Toledo. The Ducks took 3 of 4 against the Rockets. That won the only loss on the weekend for Oregon from when we signed off on Friday to right now. Oregon softball went 5-1 on the weekend against a stacked field down in Arizona, but the one loss was on Thursday. So Oregon, 5 wins. Oregon men's tennis won 3 events this weekend. Across the board, it has been victory after victory after victory. Oregon lacrosse won at Pape Field. Oregon acrobatics and tumbling got an opening season win. Not to mention everything going on in the 5 events this weekend where Oregon track and field was dispersed to. Oh yeah, Oregon came away with an NCAA record. Yeah, so much going on around the University of Oregon in this athletic department. I'm not sure the weekend could have got any better. I'm not sure what more you want from the entire athletic department as a whole. Broad-based excellence in every sense of the word. And it was really fun to cap it last night at Matthew Knight Arena for Oregon men's basketball in their victory over Rutgers, a 75-57 win. The most convincing win of the year for the Ducks. It was the first game really all season where it came down to the wire and it was Oregon's going to win this game. It didn't come down to the final 4 minutes. It didn't come down to the last possession. It was a dominant second half for Oregon. The Ducks were up by 5 going into the break and then played even better in the second half. A 37-24 differential in the second half for Oregon. And Dana Altman will say so much. You hold a team under 70, you probably got a good chance to win. Ducks held Rutgers under 60, 57 points against 2 guys that are probably going to be lottery picks in the upcoming NBA draft. Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey on the other side for Rutgers. They combined for 21 points. They combined 9 of 27 from the field and 2 of 12 from 3. Oregon's defense was on point in this game. We'll hear from TJ Bamba talking about Oregon's defense as well. And the Ducks, who prevented Rutgers from shooting well from the three-point line, shot the lights out from the offensive side of things at the three-point line. 13 for 22 from deep, 59% for Oregon in the game against Rutgers. The first time all year the Ducks have shot 50+% from three in a ball game. Oregon also won on the glass, 33-27 in rebounds. Offensive glass, 11-6 in Oregon's favor. How about the assist numbers? Oregon is sharing and moving the basketball. During the 5-game losing streak for Oregon a few weeks ago, a big constant for Dana Altman was, gotta move the basketball more. The ball's sticking too much. 16-5, the difference in assists. Oregon had 16 assists compared to 5 for Rutgers. This felt like a full team effort from top to bottom for the Ducks. It was a balanced scoring affair for Oregon, and a whole lot of players got involved. A whole lot of coaches got involved. Dana Altman just a touch under the weather, so sent Kevin McKenna to Joey Mack, Luke Walton in the postgame. And K-Mac had a lot of nice things to say after Oregon got a convincing win over Rutgers last night.
Coach, hey, you win 75-57. I felt like this was the most complete game that you all have played. Is that what you guys thought as a staff?
Yeah, I think defensively we did a good job. In particular, TJ really set the tone. He took the challenge. Those guys, both, number 4 and number 2 are legit, guys where Luke used to play, and in the pros. And they did a good job just being physical with them. The experience, I think, factored into it a little bit. And those guys are trying to just – it seems like they're just trying to score.
We saw Dante back in the building taking a break from his professional career. Nathan Biddle, kind of the knock on him was, could he remain healthy and could he be the rim protector that Oregon had last year in Dante? You look up tonight, 5 blocks at the defensive end. How good is it to see him playing at both ends? That was really good. And Nate's, I think Dante did inspire him, just him seeing him there. I think the one play that Nate made, he went and got that offensive rebound on the baseline in the second half.
Yep.
And that kind of sparked our team, I think. And he finished the play, got the offensive rebound, scored it. And I think that just really gave us a big lift when we needed it. But the blocks and just, kind of hovering around and watching those guys, drive to the basket. He was there and contested more. I know he blocked 5, but he contested a few more than that and made it hard on him.
Jackson scored 19, coming off a career-high 26. Offensively, set the tone for you, it seemed like.
Yeah, he hit some tough shots, and he had the one heat check shot. We got to give him that one. But he made some tough shots. We got some good mismatches. They were switching there on some ball screens, and those big guys have a hard time with Jackson's quickness, and got him back on their heels and created some space for himself. But, Jackson can make those shots, and he did a nice job tonight.
How about some of your role guys, too, Coach? I mean, Raheem Moss has this acrobatic play over here, saving the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Raheem, again, like TJ, took the challenge on those guys, on Harper and Bailey, and had both of them at different times and put good pressure on. And, that's just a hustle play. We need that type of defense for us to be a complete team. We've shown we can do it in spurts. I thought we did it tonight for the whole game.
How about KJ, too? I mean, he has the one turnover forced around the perimeter from Bailey, runs the floor himself.
Yeah, I think it's like anything. You want to see how you stack up against guys that are, going to be drafted high.
Yeah.
And I wish we would, treat everybody like that in every game. And if we get that mentality, watch out, because I think we've shown we can do it against good people, against good players, and if we can continue that against good players at other places on the road now with Iowa and Wisconsin coming up, it'd be a good challenge for us.
So it seems like team took a step now. You talk about going on the road next, Coach. Just the building block for fans. Took a step defensively, took a step offensively today.
Yeah, we did, and both places tough to play. I've been watching Iowa for the last couple of days. They can really score the ball. We're going to have to close that down. And Wisconsin, just they're playing as good as anybody in our league right now after just going into Purdue and winning. So we'll have our hands full, but hopefully these last two games will kind of, revive our guys and give them some confidence to play a little bit better, a little harder, and get after it.
Kevin McKenna joining us. Coach, thanks.
All right.
A little positive momentum for the Ducks. You just heard K-Mac talk about it. That assistant coach interview brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Freudian slip by me throwing it to the interview. Luke Walton was the name of the left fielder for Toledo this weekend. Luke Lido was the name of their center fielder. A Luke and Luke. And at Oregon men's basketball last night, Luke and Luke were about equidistant away from those Toledo outfielders on the weekend. It's actually really cool to see. Rob Mosley posted a really nice picture to his Twitter. Oregon men's basketball reposted it. A picture of Luke Jackson wearing the OSN microphone, and then right behind Luke Ridenour sitting front row right behind the bench with his family. It was really cool to see a lot of Ducks back at Matthew Knight Arena. NBA All-Star break meant that N'Faly Dante was back. We'll hear from him in just a few moments. But first, we got to hear from one of the players in TJ Bamba, who had a strong game, because it was a balanced effort for Oregon on the offensive side of things. Just a complete stat sheet. I'm going to read off every player's individual stat line because it felt like more than any game this season, this game against Rutgers was a full, complete team effort. Jackson Shelstad led the way with 19 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. He had 3 assists in the ballgame. Second leading scorer, Nate Biddle, he had 15 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep, a double-double with 10 rebounds for Nate Biddle. TJ Bamba, he had a very strong game, 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, no turnovers. I know the coaching staff loves to see that for TJ Bamba, but it wasn't just those top 3 that have been the scorers, and when Oregon has lost games, it's been because it's just been the top scorers. It was a balanced effort for the Ducks. KJ Evans, 8 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep, 4 rebounds in the ballgame. Keyshawn Barthélemy had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists in the game. Jadrian Tracy had 6 points, 2 of 2 from deep in the game. Took on a strong defensive effort. Brandon Angel had 5 points, 4 rebounds in the game. Supreme Cook had 3 points, 3 rebounds in the ballgame. And Raheem Moss, he had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and made a lot of hustle plays. And I think the highlight of the night was when he jumped over the scorer's table. Yeah, he was diving after balls. He was making plays defensively. And Oregon, everybody that got in the game made an impact. But one of the more well-rounded stat lines, TJ Bamba, 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 4 rebounds, 6 assists in 30 minutes. No turnovers for TJ Bamba. Well, you play that well, you're stuck with Joey Mack.
We always say that if you play well, you get stuck talking to us, and TJ Bamba did that here tonight. I should tell everybody, too, that TJ was going to come over to the studio last week. Then we had a late start based on the snow, but you've been in areas where it snows. What'd you think? Was it that bad?
It wasn't bad at all, to be honest. I thought that, people overreacted, especially from where I'm coming from, New York, and I was in Pullman, so I'm like, this ain't nothing compared to that.
I appreciate that, TJ.
Yeah, Pullman gets cold.
But we were
That's
not
a whole nother level.
But we were not going to be the reason that TJ Bamba's car slid off and then he couldn't, have 6 assists.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we'll get you over there. But hey,
sure.
TJ, I mean, we were talking about with Coach McKenna that the defense set the tone. Mm-hmm. You're a guy that believes in defense setting tone.
Yeah.
What was the key defensively in this one?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like we know we're a good team offensively, even at times if we don't show it. But, I feel like that's going to come naturally for us. So I think as a team, we just been harping on being a better defensive team for these last 6 games, which it was today prior to today's game. But for this last stretch, we just wanted to make sure that we got better defensively because defense sets tones. And today I feel like our defense showed that. Stopping Harper and stopping Bailey was the main game plan for tonight, and I feel like we did a great job on those 2, and because of that, the score came out in our favor. So
2 of the last 3 games, you've tied your career high in assists. Ball movement, too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm just trying to play a good brand of basketball and show that, I could score, I could pass, I could defend. I'm a good basketball player. Even at times, if I've struggled a little bit, I'm just trying to show that, what I'm capable of. So I'm just trying to get my teammates involved, and, it makes me happy to see them hit shots and to have confidence. So we all win.
One thing that a lot of maybe casual fans don't understand is that you get stuck with usually the toughest defensive assignment. How important was it for you tonight, going against Bailey, who's a projected high draft pick, to go in and shut him down? What's your mentality going into that game?
I mean, to be honest, it's the same mentality every game. Like, I'm a super competitive person, and growing up, like, in New York, on the street ball and stuff like that, like, we took matchups with pride. So, for me, having two potential draft picks coming in here, it's like they got to show me. So it's like, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna lock your ass up. Like,
I feel like you're,
you know what I'm saying?
TJ, I feel like you're the guy that, I mean, you would play a pickup game against anyone.
For sure. Absolutely. I play pickup games with a lot of people, like, you know what I'm saying? Just to have fun. It's basketball at the end of the day. Like, we all started playing basketball for the joy of it.
Right.
So for me, that's what it is, just joy.
I'll leave you with this then. Building on it, going on the road now with Iowa, Wisconsin coming up. Keys to success, how to build on this one moving forward.
Just keep getting better. Coaches just been preaching, getting better, and what's getting better look like? Just defense, rebounding, and effort and energy. So we just got to work on those 3 or 4 things, and we'll be great. I feel like we'll put ourselves in a great position to get back to where we were in November.
Thanks, TJ.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
TJ Bamba, you love that mindset from TJ Bamba. He's going to need to play strong defense down the stretch for Oregon throughout the rest of this regular season, into postseason play. He's taken on a lot of the best defensive assignments that you heard Luke Jackson talk about. And the mentality, I don't care who you are, I'll lock you up. Yeah, that's what you like to see. What I omitted from Nate Biddle's line, well, he had a pretty strong day on defense, well, and offense, too. He had 5 offensive rebounds. Half of his rebounds were on the offensive end. He also had 5 blocks in the game. Strong defense from the center, making it really hard for Rutgers to score on the interior against Oregon. And he is the next of what has been a successful pedigree of Oregon centers over the last few years. And what was great about getting NBA All-Star Weekend this week is that the guys who are pros now get the time off, can come back to MKA. And N'Faly Dante was back in town. Joey Mack at shoot-around yesterday was able to sit down with the big fella, welcome him back to Eugene. It was really cool to see, really cool conversation, just a quick chat between Joey Mack and N'Faly Dante.
This is fun for me. Get a chance to sit down with an alum, coming back, spending a little time in Eugene, and N'Faly Dante with us. All right, hey, tell fans just a little bit what you've been up to since you left Oregon, playing professionally. What's it been like?
Man, it's been different. You know, it's way different than what I got used to. You know, so like they're making me do different things. So it's been great so far. Even though it's tough, but it's a great experience. So I love it.
Well, it's great to see you, and I know that the guys have enjoyed seeing you. What's your advice to this team right now? If guys that want to go play pro like you, what are you telling them?
Man, they got to do every little things. Like, you know, last year, I'm not going to say I was the main scorer here, but I was be able to score a lot. But now, like, it's not the same. You got to change your role. You got to be the guy willing to dive in the floor, like go get a rebound, get a great screen. And you got to do the things that other people doesn't do, because every NBA team had to score, like 3 or 4 guys can score like 40 points. So you got to be somebody who's willing to help the team win. So that's my advice to all of them, and I'm gonna be here today and motivate them and help them to have a right mindset to play.
You and I are talking right after shoot-around. What went through your mind as you were watching shoot-around again with all these guys wearing Oregon uniforms? You got the Oregon shirt on again today.
Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, my advice I was telling them guys was like, man, I wish last year when I was doing the shoot-around, I wish I had a mindset to just take that really serious, because it's really important to prepare really properly, and then you're gonna have a great result. So
when you're practicing, you're preparing, when you're playing now, how often do you hear phrases that coach would say, all the assistant coaches would say, going through your mind? I mean, how often is it still with you as you play professionally now?
Well, the coach they tell me is like, whatever you put in, that's what you're gonna get for a result. So I'm like in my mind all the time. Is just everything I do, you gotta be perfect for me to be able to have a great game. So that's one thing keep me focused.
What's it going to be like to be in Matthew Knight Arena again? You're going to be recognized on the video board. Folks are going to be screaming for you again. What's that going to feel like?
Man, I feel great. You know, feel great to be here, and then I can't wait to see Pay Group and see the great people here. You know, I miss being here and looking forward to get a win tonight.
Glad to have you back, Dante. Good luck the rest of the way. All right.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Really cool to see N'Faly Dante back at Matthew Knight Arena, sitting courtside, cheering on the guys after the win. Nate Biddle, the whole team is going through, high-fiving fans, and Nate Biddle stepped out to go give a real handshake and a hug to N'Faly Dante before he stepped back in and high-fived everybody else. Really cool to see N'Faly Dante. Mo Diawara also back at Matthew Knight Arena. Luke Ridenour back at Matthew Knight Arena. Cool to see a whole bunch of guys get to experience what was a convincing win for Oregon men's basketball. 75-57 over Rutgers. Probably the most convincing win of the year to Oregon for Oregon to this point in the season, looking to continue to stack that momentum moving forward. Just like Oregon women's basketball did on Sunday as well. It was an OSN triple header. We're going to break down everything that went on this network when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will.
Back here inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you here on a Monday, breaking down a stellar weekend for the Oregon Athletic Department across the board, both here in Eugene and on the road in various different places for various different sports. But Oregon women's basketball yesterday went up against Minnesota. It is a talented Minnesota team and a very difficult place to win in the barn in Minnesota. The Golden Gophers now 13-3 at home and a very strong team towards the top and middle of the Big Ten standings. This was a game that Oregon had to win in the Big Ten to try to continue to compete for that bye in the Big Ten tournament coming up in just a few weeks. And Oregon got a gritty victory against Minnesota on Sunday. And the Ducks had plenty of players which helped contribute to the 76-70 win. Deja Kelly led the way with 20 points. She's continuing to surge and emerge as the star that Oregon brought her in to be. You'll hear Kelly Graves talk about that in just a moment. 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, complete all-around stat line for Deja Kelly. Eliza Mevius, what a game for Eliza Mevius. 19 points, started the game 7-7 from the field. She missed a 3 towards the end of the game, but that was her only missed shot. She was 4 of 5 from deep. She had 3 assists and 3 steals, didn't turn the ball over in the ball game. The Ducks as a team just had 6 turnovers as a whole in the game. Lexi Whitfield, she had a really strong game as well. 13 points, 6 of 7 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 of them on the offensive glass. And how about the plus-minus for 3 different Ducks? Eliza Mevius, plus 16. Difficult to do. Nani Falatea didn't score as effectively as she normally does, just 5 points, 2 of 10 from the field. Still plus 11 in the box score, making things happen, being a positive impact that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And Lexi Whitfield, plus 8 in her 21 minutes of play in this ballgame against Minnesota, helped propel Oregon to the victory against the Gophers in what was a difficult, gritty road test for Oregon. They got it done. 76-70, Oregon continuing to surge towards the end of the season in Big Ten play. Chris Clayton caught up with Kelly Graves after the game, reacting to the tough, resilient victory for Oregon women's basketball.
Coach, thanks for coming up to us. How do you put this one into words?
Thank goodness we're not at altitude, or this would have been really tough up here. My goodness. I'm just proud of the team, man. This was a great win. This is a good team. It's a quad one win on the road, one of the better teams in the country. They kind of remind me of ourselves in a lot of ways. I was talking to Don. I've known Coach Don for a while, and we were talking about how both of our teams are gritty, tough, physical, aggressive, and we kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways. But heck of a win. Just, the composure, the ability to make free throws, get stops when we needed. We had a bunch of players step up and have big games. I thought Elisa, this was the best game she's played in a Duck uniform. Deja is starting to break out and be that star that we know she can be. And, and then got good efforts from people like Lexi Whitfield came in and played longer than she normally does. Mina Muhammad was solid. It was a good all-round effort.
And it was at that point in the second quarter, you went down 28-19, then just massive 18-2 run. What do you think flipped at that point?
Well, it was our pressure defense. They turned it over. They're one of the best teams in the country in fewest turnovers. I think they're only averaging about 11 in conference play when things typically pick up. And we forced 10 in the first half and another 7 in the second half. And our points off turnovers, that was huge, 23-7. Was the advantage there, and I think our fans, those that are listening to you and they've been to our games, they know that when we amp the defense up, good things happen, and we got some runouts and some easy baskets and got the tempo back in our favor. So, and we pulled out a lot of different defenses tonight. We picked them up full court, man-to-man. We did some half-court trapping, some three-quarter court trapping. I think we kept them a little off balance tonight. Yeah, I don't know if they were ever in a great flow offensively, and so credit to everybody that stepped on that court for us tonight.
You mentioned this might have been the best game Elisa Mevius has played. She had that hand injury. She wasn't shooting great. She had 14 last time out. Now she has 19. Started the game 7 for 7. How has she been able to find her offense?
Well, she works at it. She's in the arena all the time. Working on her shot, just getting shots up. She's a gym rat, and you just keep working at it. I think it's a great lesson, and in case there's some young kids listening right now, there's a great lesson. You just keep working at it, and eventually it'll click, and it's clicking for her right now. And then what happens, you make a few, you start to get confident, and then that confidence builds game in, game out, and so that's kind of her secret sauce. She's always really good defensively. I thought we made some key stops tonight, a couple of steals when they were making that run. And it was really, again, it was a heck of a win. I'm looking at the points from, we beat them in points from turnovers, points in the paint, second chance point, fast break points, and points off the bench. In a close game, that typically doesn't happen like that. So, again, just it's a great effort by these guys. That's 4 wins on the road, buddy.
Yeah.
In Big Ten play.
It's big.
And people, it's real. The travel is real. It was a long day yesterday getting here. And, short turnaround, with an afternoon game. And it just shows that our players are gritty. They're tough. They're experienced. They don't let little things get them down or get to them. And we're seeing now that those dividends on the court.
And, these road trips can be long, but you've got a tough matchup with Nebraska on Wednesday. How do you carry over the momentum of this game?
Yeah, well, again, Nebraska's a different type of team. They're going to spread you out with 5 players. They love to shoot threes. What we're going to do is going to enjoy it tonight. I think they want to go to the Mall of America.
Okay.
We've heard about it, and so there we go.
Love it.
I don't know if we have many people who have ever been to Minnesota, so we're definitely going to go do that and enjoy it tonight, and then we'll start thinking about Nebraska tomorrow. But as coaches, I know the scouts already in the what do you call it, in the can.
In the can.
We got it now. We just got to get it to the team, and and they've got to internalize, the next opponent. But they've done great at that. I've been really impressed with this group. I really have. I love them. I think they get along. You guys are here, right? The other Chris is here, by the way. We got Chris Squared up here. Not that you're square, boys, just Chris Squared.
Appreciate it.
And, they're fun to be around. They travel well. They're on time. Yep. When we have meetings or meals or we got to get to the bus. It's just a fun group. And I think when you have teams like that take care of business, then they'll take care of business out on the court. And they're certainly doing that. So that's a great win.
Great win indeed. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Congrats.
Thank you, Chris.
Kelly Graves talking with Chris Clayton, both Chris's, really, up there in the rafters in Minnesota. That interview brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck, or better cancer care close to home. The stats that Kelly Graves mentioned, I'll add some context to them. Oregon got out-rebounded. The Ducks got out-rebounded by 16. Get out-rebounded by 16, you don't win very many games. But Oregon shot 23 free throws compared to Minnesota's 8. Oregon got to the cup a lot more frequently. Also the turnovers. I mentioned Oregon only turned the ball over 6 times. Minnesota turned it over 17 times. The Ducks scored 23 points off turnovers. The 16 margin in the rebounds was then flipped the other way. The Ducks outscored points off turnovers by 16 in this ballgame. Points off the bench. Also huge for Oregon. It was a balanced scoring effort for the Ducks. 28 bench points. Minnesota had just one bench player score 5 points. Yeah, Oregon did a really strong job despite getting out-rebounded on the glass, being able to compete and win this game. But Oregon on the glass still made some history. Philly Che, individual success, got her 1,000th career rebound for Filipina Che. 6th Duck in program history to reach that milestone. Congratulations to Philly. Many, many more to come for her. Season's coming down to the stretch run for Oregon women's basketball. Ducks have won 2 straight. There's only 3 more games left in the regular season. On the road on Wednesday against Nebraska. Final home game on February 23rd. That's on Sunday against Rutgers. And then close the season the Sunday after on the road at Washington. 3 regular season games left for Oregon women's basketball coming down the stretch of this season. You heard Coach Graves say it. 4 road wins already in Big Ten play and an opportunity for 2 more against Nebraska and Washington in those final 3 this year. Season's coming to a close for Oregon women's basketball. It's just getting started on the diamond. Oregon baseball took 3 of 4 from Toledo, breaking that series down when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you here on a Monday, breaking down a stellar weekend in Oregon athletics across the board. Oregon women's golf closing up. Individual champion for Oregon women's golf, still up in the air, but we'll figure it out probably in the next 10 minutes. It was also a successful opening weekend for Oregon baseball. The Oregon baseball team took 3 of 4 from Toledo, a win on opening day for the Ducks, a 9-2 victory to start off the season, then a doubleheader on Saturday. Oregon lost 5-3 in the early game, then came back 45 minutes later and, well, how do you change the tune? How about a program record for home runs in a ball game with 7? Yeah. The Oregon offense woke up in Game 2 against Toledo on Saturday and closed things on Sunday with a 6-1 victory against the Rockets to cap the series. It's a veteran, experienced Toledo team that Oregon went up against, Toledo team that's expected to make some strong improvements in the MAC through this season. And Oregon, they have a new-look pitching staff this year, and especially on Sunday. The Ducks gave the ball to a true freshman in Will Sanford, and there's been a lot of positive things said about Will throughout the lead-up to this season. It takes a lot to earn a Sunday start on your opening weekend as a freshman for Oregon. Guys like David Peterson, Tyler Anderson, Oregon legends have gotten the ball to start their freshman season on opening weekend. Will Sanford, still a long way to go, but he had a pretty successful start. Oregon had a pretty successful weekend, and I think closed on Sunday with probably the best game of the 4 for Oregon. Coach Mark Waszowski meeting with the media after the game, after the series, and wrapping up the weekend for Oregon baseball.
You guys get the win today. Just what do you think of the game overall?
It seemed like a complete game to me. I mean, the guys played well. They played good defense. The pitching was solid from start to finish, and I thought there were timely hits. It was nice to extend the lead with the home run by Maloney late in the game, and I thought it was a complete game.
Was that your favorite performance of the weekend?
Probably.
3-1 just overall in this series. Just what did you like? What do you see? What do you want to improve upon going into next week against Rhode Island?
It doesn't matter who we play. We just need to improve, and there's things we need to improve upon, and so we're looking forward to this week in practice, that's for sure.
What did you see from Will today on the mound?
He was okay, to be honest. I mean, his first outing as a freshman, and and I'll be critical and say he was just okay. He'll be put up probably for the conference pitcher of the week as a freshman or whatever. But I don't know that he wins or not. But I liked his competitiveness. He finished his last inning with 3 strikeouts. He wasn't as good as we've seen him, quite candidly. But obviously he's a special talent. And so when you go out there and he gave up 1 run on a wild pitch, I think is what he gave up all day. So hard to really be too critical of what he did. I thought he pitched well.
Knox gives up some loud contact out of the pen, but faces the minimum in his 2 innings. What'd you like out of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he gave up a little bit of a hard ground ball in the 5-6 hole, and a couple fly ball outs. I didn't think the contact was. He pitched us the contact. He got in there and he challenged guys. Again, he goes 2 innings, his first outing as a Duck, basically in a live game. Happy for him. Really happy with Santiago. He went out there and he was dominant, and Cole was dominant, obviously.
We were all kind of waiting to see Cole out of the pen this weekend. Do you like him kind of in that 9-hole spot as a closer for you guys, or was that just when the touches came for him?
Well, I mean, dust will settle on how we use all our pieces. He's obviously a talented kid. He's developed really, really well in the last year with Coach Hawk, and obviously he's electric, and that's what we've been seeing in scrimmages is it's really good.
You mentioned yesterday you wanted to see more guys on base in general. I think 6 of 8 leadoff hitters reached today, and 4 of them came around to score. What does that do for your offense when you're able to put up numbers like that?
Well, he can run an offense. You know, I like breaking home run records where we hit 7 homers, but I think 6 of them are solo shots. That's not really an offense. You're just hitting home runs, right? I mean, having an offense is when you do what we did at the beginning of the game where a guy gets on via walk, he steals second, he gets advanced to third by, you know, a ground ball, and then he scores on a ground ball. That's having an offense where you score despite not even getting a hit. And so you want a balance, right? That's what we're looking for. We want to play good defense, pitch well, and have a balance offensively to where you're not relying on moving a guy with a sack bunt or something like that, but it's also a part of your game. And this weekend, there were some weaknesses that are clear that we need to tighten up this week in practice when it comes to our offense, and we'll do that.
Toledo threw 3 different pitchers in the first 3 innings. Do you change how you talk to your hitters at all when there's kind of a revolving door on the mound for their approach?
Well, not a lot of information on a lot of guys we saw this weekend. You know, some of them we knew. Obviously, their starter is an old guy that had tremendous amount of success. He probably was just on a pitch count. That's probably why they took him out after the first. But he had a lot of experience under his belt. You know, the last time that he pitched, he threw an elimination game. He went 8 2/3 to get the win in an elimination game in the conference tournament. And so, you know, he's on a pitch count today, and they were able to go to a couple other guys. I thought they pitched, though, on the weekend. I thought their team, you know, they landed a ton of off-speed pitches for strikes. I even complimented their coach. I thought that they did a nice job with that, and they were really competitive on the mound.
We saw Hurd kind of pull up Gimpy running down to first. Was his replacement in the outfield, was that scheduled for that point, or was he hurt?
No, Hurd's fine.
Maddox takes an up-and-in sinker for a double early in the game. Obviously has the home run later. Just how do you feel like his added weight in the offseason, that strength has played into his game so far this year?
So far so good. You know, I mean, he had a good weekend. I think he hit probably 3 home runs and played a really clean shortstop, and so he started off slow and he got hot as the weekend went. And as we know, when Maddox gets going, he can be a real force.
Was it nice to see some of his doubles land out there with Luke Walton and the defense he's been playing all weekend?
I'll tell you what, that guy was, he was a heck of a player. You know, the Walton kid is a really tremendous player that they have. He was a dynamic outfielder defensively, and he's their best returning hitter. I mean, he's a special talent.
What do you think of Mason in the leadoff hole? Obviously, he was in there at the end of last year, starts the season in leadoff. Just what do you think of his performance at leading off today?
You know, Mason's a heck of a player. He's a great talent. You know, he gives you a chance to score right away. You know, if you make a mistake on Mason, he can hurt you, and he can really do some damage. I like having guys early in the lineup that, you know, you can score if you know, with one swing of the bat, and so I think he's shown that he can do that.
What are you seeing from Berkeley so far through his first, 2 games?
Great makeup, tremendous family, great makeup, competitive, gets in there and can hit, and I thought both him and Cohen caught really well this weekend.
Was that solid starting pitching all weekend something you expected in the opening series, or was that a pleasant surprise?
Probably both.
What are you hoping to see from Maloney going forward for the rest of the season?
Just to continue to get better and lead the team. You know, as a shortstop, I think that's a great question. I think as a shortstop, you know, it's a position of leadership, and so what I want to see him do is just develop. He's only a sophomore. He looks like he's a junior the way he plays a lot of times because he's so in control, but that position requires a lot of leadership, and so between him and the other infielders, we've got some really good leaders on the infield, but I want to see him develop that. I think that's a good question, though.
Coach Waszowski closing that post-game interview, talking about Maddox Maloney, talking about how dangerous he can be when he gets hot. Well, Maddox Maloney in his last 8 at-bats has 5 extra base hits and 3 home runs. He's 6 for 8, 2 doubles, 3 homers. Strong cap to the series for Maddox Maloney, trying to keep that going into next week against Rhode Island. Also getting to hear from some of the players, a lot of newcomers on this Oregon team we saw in action this weekend. We'll talk to a few of them when we return. After this, I'm Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to myself.
Back in the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ron Milano here with you. I was also at PK Park throughout the weekend in this Oregon baseball series. Successful for Oregon. Took 3 of 4. But out of freshman as a starter, Will Sanford, you heard Waz talk about him, said he was just okay. Critical of the freshman, but deservedly so. He's pitched really well leading up to the season. The line for Will Sanford, 4 innings pitched, just 2 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Probably nitpicking a little bit to command the zone a touch better, but he did cap his outing with 3 straight strikeouts to close his day and struck out the side in the 4th inning. Just okay? That means there's a lot of room to grow, and the potential is through the roof for Will Sanford. First time getting to hear Will Sanford talk to the media. Let's hear from the freshman starter.
What do you feel like you had working today out there?
I just felt like most of the time my fastball was playing well. Cutter was a great pitch today. Could have did better on my secondary stuff, but just keeping that mindset of attacking with every pitch. But it felt good. It feels good to get the first one out of the way, and it's going to keep building on it.
Were there any jitters going out there for the first time, and if so, kind of when did those start to fade away?
I mean, I feel like there's always sometimes a little jitter on a start, but walking up to the mound on that first inning, you just get on that mound, you see all the fans, you get a little nervous, but I think as soon as you throw that first pitch, get out of the way, you feel good. So
Yeah, in the day striking out the side, did you argue with Hawksworth to get a 5th, or were you good to be done that?
I didn't know where I was on the pitch count, but I guess I was near it. So just I wish I would have gone out for the 5th, but it's his staff. I just listen to what he has to say, and if that's what 4 innings was enough for me, then I'll just build on that.
When did you find out that you were going to be the Sunday guy, and what was your reaction to it?
I found out a week ago when they announced it. Went to his office. He told me in person. It feels good. Going to be a starter as a freshman, it's a big deal, and I'm gonna embrace the challenge and just keep attacking and just keep holding that job.
With having played your first game here, what are your goals going forward for the rest of the season?
Just keep getting dubs for the team. This as a pitcher, you need to hold zeros, give your offense some room to work. More zeros you put up, the more comfortable they are. So just get dubs for the team, really.
Was there a favorite moment for you that stick out from that outing?
First K. Just feels good to get out of the way. Just be confident. My hitters were always picking me up every inning, so just attacking for them. Just being locked in the whole time.
What'd you like from Anson behind the dish today?
I love Anson. We worked with a couple catchers over fall and winter just to see who's more comfortable, and he's caught me a good amount in the fall and winter, and probably feel the most comfortable with him. And he's always working. I feel like the ball in the dirt, he'll get it. He's always moving, trying to do his best, control the game, talking to me. Just a great catcher.
What's it like to have Maddox behind you? How vocal are you guys together, and how much is he like trying to get you right when you're out there on the mound?
He was on me, him and Carter, Cooney, all of them. They're just always talking to me, especially when the game gets a little close and the game gets on you, gets quicker. Always slowing you down, just making sure you stay calm in those situations, and they're always there to pick me up.
Did it mean anything to you to turn the ball over there to Knox, another freshman, to pick up where you left off?
Yeah, no, Knox is the dog. He's always working for us, and he has that mentality where he's just going to attack you. He doesn't care who's in the box, he'll just attack. I always feel confident. I feel confident with this whole staff.
The duo of freshman pitchers to throw the first 6 innings of the game on Sunday. I mentioned the line for Will Sanford. He passed the ball to Kellen Knox. Knox earned the win. He threw 2 innings, did not allow a base runner, faced the minimum, struck out a batter. Strong debuts from both of those freshmen on the hill. Gabe Howard, another freshman on the hill, pitched earlier in the weekend out of the bullpen for Oregon. The 3 freshman arms that we saw for the Ducks as they now shift their focus from Toledo to Rhode Island. Next week, same format, Friday, doubleheader Saturday and Sunday, all at the same time as it was this weekend. We will continue to break that down throughout the week on Duck Insider, and then obviously we'll be out at PK Park and have it for you on the Oregon Sports Network. Around the rest of the athletic department, things got real interesting and in a very positive way over the weekend. Breaking down everything when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Closing out Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studio, and it's time for the Cafe Yum 2-minute drill because Oregon has now officially capped what I am calling a 16-1 weekend. Because after Chris Clayton got off the air Friday at 2 o'clock to right now, Oregon has gone 16-1 in various events around the athletic department, and that does not include Shalana Yildiz' NCAA record. Yeah, she set an NCAA record in the indoor mile with a time of 4:23.46 and earned a spot as the USTF CCCA Co-National Athlete of the Week for the efforts. Oregon track and field at so many different indoor facilities, and the Ducks combined for 12 top 10 program performances and 5 wins across 4 meets on just Saturday alone. Oregon was at 5 meets across the entire weekend. I highly suggest reading Zach Lawson's recap. I would go down and read them all, but it would be literally the entire show. So just go read the recap. A whole bunch of Ducks had a whole lot of success. On the acrobatics and tumbling front, season opener for Taylor Susnara's squad. The best start in a decade for Oregon acrobatics and tumbling. They beat Morgan State by a score of 281.205 to 256.095. Susnara said, I think that they did a really solid job competing today. In the tumbling event, I was a little surprised with the 2 falls back-to-back because doesn't normally happen in practice. It was a little bit of nerves, a little shaky warm-up, but today we got one of our highest scores in the last couple of years, so I'm really proud how that turned out. Today was a little bit of a long meet, so I think for both teams, each team did a really good job of keeping up the energy and dialing in when they needed to and staying loose, and that was the motto. We've kind of felt like the timing and the flow of the meet was just to stay loose and stay focused when we needed to, and the Ducks did that, got a big resounding win, one of the best scores in a decade for Oregon acrobatics and tumbling. Oregon lacrosse was in action at Pape Field on Saturday, got a 15-7 victory over Columbia. A 7-0 second quarter extended what was a 5-3 first quarter advantage and gapped the field for Oregon to get the 15-7 win. Jess Drummond now 3-0 as a head coach to start off the season. Oregon softball in action in Arizona. A 5-1 weekend, got wins over North Dakota, Weber State, Utah Valley, Grand Canyon, and Belmont. Oregon men's tennis got a 3-win weekend. On Friday, beat New Mexico 6-1, and a Sunday doubleheader, 4-1 against Louisiana, 7-0 against Eastern Illinois. How about Oregon women's golf? Just got to the clubhouse at 34 under par. Defeated Southern California, who was in second place, at 11 under par. Oregon put together an 8 under round 1, an 8 under round 2, and an 18 under round 3. Zuvachaya Vinachaitham secures the individual win at 12 under over her teammate Kiara Romero at 10 under, and Karen Suru a stroke back at 9 under. Strong efforts for Oregon women's golf. Oregon men's golf, they just got underway, just teed off at one of the best names, The Prestige, in La Quinta, California. Tomorrow on the show, whole bunch of softball. Enjoy it. Go Ducks, everybody.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education